How many fighters do you know from Ireland? Paul Hughes and Conor, and who else?
Started here. Let me get some fucking dumb shit out of the way first here. And I'm sure you guys heard what Bryce Mitchell said. If you haven't, said some...
BKFC Saturday night, baby, live from Wells Fargo Center. For me, in a competitive standpoint, UFC. Let's bring it home.
Thank you, sir.
Right?
Appreciate you.
Khabib Nurmagomedov shocked the MMA world by ending his feud with Ireland, praising the nation for its support of Palestine, a gesture no one saw coming and one that left fans speechless. It's a moment that has everyone talking and rethinking rivalries. The MMA world just got a lot more interesting. Let's dive in. This past week, Khabib Nurmagomedov reminded the world why he is so much more than just an undefeated champion. While many fighters thrive on bravado, trash talk, and making headlines for their antics, Khabib has built a reputation for humility and respect. And yet, no one expected what he did when former fighter Josh Thompson reached out to him. Thompson, during a podcast, revealed an incredible story about Khabib agreeing to meet a young fan battling cancer. The child who idolized Khabib for his dominance in the cage was fighting an even tougher battle outside of it, one for his life. Thompson explained how Khabib, without any hesitation or fanfare, went out of his way to make the meeting possible. Instead of treating it like an obligation, Khabib ensured the experience was meaningful for the child and his family. He even rearranged his own schedule, prioritizing the moment over everything else. What's even more remarkable is that Khabib never mentioned this publicly. It was all done quietly, away from the spotlight. In a world where athletes often turn such moments into PR opportunities, Khabib's humility stood out. It wasn't just a meeting, it was a quiet act of kindness, the kind that reveals true character. The MMA community was left stunned, not because Khabib is capable of such acts, but because he chose to keep it so private. How often do we see someone at the height of their fame focus not on themselves, but on lifting someone else up? Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. And while Khabib's kindness dominated one part of the conversation, his cousin Usman Nurmagomedov stole the spotlight inside the cage. Usman, who continues to build on the family's legendary MMA legacy, recently defended his PFL lightweight title in Dubai in a showdown that fans are calling one of the greatest fights in the league's history. Facing off against Irishman Paul Hughes, Usman came into the fight carrying not just the weight of his own career, but also the expectations of his corner. With legends like Khabib, Islam Makhachev, and Javier Mendez supporting him, he knew this wasn't just another fight. It was about solidifying the Dagestani dynasty. The pressure was immense, especially as Hughes was determined to represent Ireland in a way that would stand out amidst the long-standing rivalry between the two nations. Every round had fans holding their breath as Usman demonstrated his grappling superiority, while Hughes responded with bursts of explosive strikes. By the end, it wasn't just a title defense, it was a battle that etched itself into the history books. But things didn't go as smoothly as many expected. Hughes, an underdog who had earned the title shot with a stunning upset over AJ McKee, turned the fight into an all-out war. From the very beginning, Usman's dominance in grappling and striking seemed evident, but Hughes kept coming back, refusing to back down. The Irishman landed sharp body shots and fought in bursts, creating moments of tension and excitement. Just as fans thought Usman might completely dominate, a series of unexpected events added drama to the fight. First, there was a point deduction for accidental groin strikes in the third round, which shifted the momentum. Then, a clash of heads in the fourth round left Hughes with a cut on his forehead and Usman with an eye injury. The fight was paused briefly, but when it resumed, both fighters seemed determined to leave it all in the cage. By the time the fifth round rolled around, it was a back-and-forth battle, with both fighters pushing the limits of their endurance and skill. The final moments were as tense as they come, with the crowd on the edge of their seats. When the judges' scorecards were announced, Usman was declared the winner by majority decision. But the reaction was far from unanimous. Hughes, visibly frustrated, later said he believed he had done enough to win. He pointed to the head clash and groin strikes as moments that disrupted his rhythm, arguing that he was starting to break Usman down before those interruptions. Fans were divided as well, with some praising Usman's performance and others agreeing with Hughes that the fight could have gone his way. Even Khabib himself acknowledged that the fight wasn't as one-sided as fans might have expected. In a post-fight interview, he revealed that he reassured Usman, telling him that tough fights like this are crucial for growth. Khabib's words carried weight, reminding fans that even the greatest fighters face adversity and must learn from it. What caught everyone by surprise, though, was what Khabib said next. Addressing Irish fans directly, he expressed his love and respect for them, not something you'd expect from a man whose rivalry with Conor McGregor defined much of his career. But Khabib didn't stop there. He went on to praise Ireland for its support of Palestine during the ongoing conflict with Israel, a statement that added a geopolitical layer to his gesture of goodwill. And speaking of McGregor, the Irishman had plenty to say about the fight, but in true McGregor fashion, his comments were anything but respectful. Taking to social media, McGregor dismissed Usman's victory and even called out the entire Nurmagomedov family. In a scathing post, he claimed Hughes dominated the fight and referred to the Dagestani fighters as non-fighting fighters, accusing them of running around the cage rather than engaging. It was vintage McGregor, provocative, brash, and designed to get a reaction, and it certainly did. McGregor's comments ignited a storm of debates across social media, with fans taking sides in the ever-heated Dagestan vs. Ireland rivalry. While some backed McGregor's fiery critique, others saw it as another attempt to stay relevant amidst his long absence from the octagon. Regardless, McGregor's remarks ensured that the Nurmagomedov name and their dominance remained at the center of MMA discussions. Conor called out Dana White, but McGregor wasn't done making headlines. In a separate controversy, he publicly called out UFC president Dana White after the organization blocked his proposed boxing match with Logan Paul. McGregor, who has been eager to explore other combat sports opportunities, claimed that the fight could have earned him $250 million. Preliminary talks for the match had reportedly progressed, with plans to hold it in India and involve major sponsors like the Ambani family. However, the UFC vetoed the idea, citing contractual restrictions. Could McGregor truly risk his UFC legacy for a high-profile boxing match, or is this another tactic to stay in the spotlight? This decision didn't sit well with McGregor, who hinted at breaking his UFC contract to pursue the fight anyway. In typical fashion, he made bold statements about showing up unannounced to a bare-knuckle fighting event and throwing down without any promotion. McGregor's antics have always been unpredictable, but this latest move has left fans wondering just how far he's willing to go to regain the spotlight. Logan Paul, however, didn't back down. In a recent YouTube video titled Face to Face with Conor McGregor, Logan responded to McGregor's threats with a sharp retort. Mocking McGregor's inactivity and injuries, Logan questioned how someone who hasn't competed in years could take on additional challenges. It was a direct hit, and one that Logan delivered with the same confidence that has helped him make waves in both boxing and WWE. Jake Paul, never one to miss an opportunity to stir the pot, also jumped into the conversation. Taking aim at McGregor on social media, Jake criticized him for not being in control of his own career. He even praised Paul Hughes, suggesting that Hughes showed more heart against Usman than McGregor did against Khabib. These comments only added fuel to the already raging fire between McGregor and the Paul brothers, keeping fans glued to their screens. The UFC stirred up major controversy when Dana White announced the shocking release of undefeated rising star Muhammad Mokaev despite his victory at UFC 304. White stated the decision was about more than fighting style, hinting at behind-the-scenes issues, leaving fans divided. Some supported White's call, while others accused the UFC of prioritizing politics over talent. Conor McGregor, never one to shy away from controversy, sided with White, bluntly dismissing Mokaev with, "They can have him." This sparked outrage among Mokaev's fans, who viewed McGregor's comment as unnecessary and harsh. For Mokaev, who dreamed of becoming a UFC champion, the cut was devastating. Speculation now surrounds his next move, with many predicting he'll join the Professional Fighters League. As all these stories unfold, one can't help but wonder what lies ahead for the sport's biggest names. Will Usman Nurmagomedov make the leap to the UFC lightweight division, following in the footsteps of his cousin Khabib and close friend Islam Makhachev? With the lightweight division already stacked with talent, from Dustin Poirier to Charles Oliveira, Usman's path to the top won't be easy. And what about McGregor? Will he return to the octagon, pursue boxing, or carve out a new path entirely? The MMA world is wild, unpredictable, and always full of surprises. That's why we love it. From Khabib's heartwarming gesture to McGregor's fiery antics, the drama and excitement never stop. If this breakdown got you hooked, smash that like button, share it with your crew, and hit subscribe for all the latest updates. Stay tuned, because the action is just getting started.